It started as a whisper on a screen in a darkened control room. No brilliant flash, no roaring explosion. Just a dim smudge of light moving where nothing should move. Astronomers have learned to ignore most of these flickers. But this one refused to go away. Night after night it returned, sliding through the star fields with uncanny precision. They logged it, compared it to catalogs of comets and asteroids, and came up empty. It wasn't on any chart. It wasn't even behaving like an object from our solar system. They gave it a placeholder name, 3I Atlas, the third confirmed interstellar visitor after Oumuamua and Borisov. Yet even that label felt wrong. It wasn't fast and chaotic like Borisov. It wasn't tumbling like Oumuamua. It glided, steady and deliberate, as if it already knew where every planet, moon, and grain of dust was before it arrived. When the James Webb Space Telescope finally swung its mirror toward the visitor, the tension inside Mission Control turned to quiet disbelief. The object wasn't reflecting sunlight like ice or stone. It was pulsing, heat and light rising and falling at exact intervals, like a heartbeat or a coded transmission. Spectral analysis revealed compounds no comet had ever shown before. Hyper-reflective alloys, carbon chains arranged with unnatural symmetry, and internal cavities hinting at a hollow structure. Then came the signal. A faint electromagnetic rhythm that repeated every few minutes. At first it looked like interference, then like a pulsar signature. But the source wasn't a distant star, it was coming from inside Atlas itself. As scientists compared this frequency to archived data, an old mystery reappeared. In 2017, just before Oumuamua left our system, a nearly identical pulse had been picked up for a few seconds. No one could explain it then. Now it was louder, clearer, and tied to an object far larger and more complex. In late-night briefings, some researchers began to whisper that maybe Oumuamua wasn't a one-off. Maybe it had been a scout. And Atlas? Atlas was something else. Not passive. Not a drifter. It was responding. Its heat signature shifted each time it passed a planet. Its pulse rate altered whenever Earth's biggest radio dishes locked onto it, as if it knew it was being watched. NASA's public statements stayed cautious. But off-record chatter leaked. A few independent scientists called it a learning entity, not artificial intelligence as we imagine it, but a self-adapting system built to evolve during its journey. Its materials weren't just built, they seemed to be growing, reconfiguring themselves like living tissue. Even its path changed. Weeks after predictions had it slingshotting safely out of the inner system, it made a subtle course correction that brought it closer to Earth's orbital plane. Nothing gravitational explained it. It just turned. Meanwhile, a handful of cryptographers feeding its pulses into pattern recognition networks began to see something unnerving. The ratios inside the signal matched the Fibonacci sequence, prime numbers, and spiral harmonics. The same patterns found in DNA, galaxy arms, and ancient architecture on Earth. It was not a message in words but in mathematics, a language older than speech. And it was not constant. It shifted in response to solar flares, planetary alignments, and even to our own broadcasts, like an echo learning our voice. Webb's infrared readings added a final twist. Around the hull of Atlas clung complex carbon molecules arranged with astonishing purity, precursors to amino acids, the seeds of biology. In a normal comet these compounds are chaotic. Here they were perfect, like they'd been manufactured or cultivated. Some began to whisper that Atlas might not be a probe at all but a carrier, a vessel of raw life, a seed ship drifting from world to world until it finds the right conditions. And then, almost unnoticed, Atlas began sending a secondary transmission, not toward Earth but outward, deeper into space. Its beam lined up with a point far beyond our solar system. Was it calling home? Reporting back? Signaling that it had found something worth investigating? No one knew. But the timing was chilling. The first outward pulse came just hours after we broadcast our strongest radar sweep toward it. At the same time, odd effects began to appear on Earth. Migratory animals veered off course in synchrony. Sensitive magnetometers picked up faint rhythmic pulses echoing Atlas's own. For 6 minutes, several deep space probes glitched and sent back strings of undecipherable data. It was as if something had reached across millions of kilometers and tapped us on the shoulder. Inside quiet conference rooms, one theory started circulating. Maybe Oumuamua had been the lock,